Right, everybody, welcome to the first stream of this new era. Basically, I'm a Town fan. I love everything to do with Town, so I thought, why not start streaming? So let's get into it. So I will be going over the new signings that we have made so far. So I'd like to go over obviously the first one, Ryan Ledson. Here on a 3-year contract, so he's here for the future. And I've already had a look at this guy. Looking like a Jonathan Hogg type player, could be given the captain's armband. Who knows? But yeah, it's good to see that he's got championship experience as well. Coming from Preston, I think he'll be a big player of this Huddersfield team this season. Hopefully in the goal for promotion. So it says it looks like he'd be a box-to-box player or defensively minded. So something that we need in the midfield and someone who we can rely on, hopefully. Also goes to shield his defence and allow a more attacker players foundation. So obviously hoping he can come back, help out the defence and, be a big part of the team. Mate. Yeah, great starts for the transfer window. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Obviously, big few signs we've made already. 5 coming through the door. I think we're going to get some more news later on in the week. But yeah, honestly, overall, looking at, Ryan Ledson, he's looking like, a good pickup from, obviously, Preston. I think we've got a scout report we can look at. So just give me a few. We'll get onto it. He said a few words in his interview. Obviously, the headline here, I can't wait to get going, which is beautiful to hear from the first signing that we made. He's played against in the past, so he kind of knows about the club. He's got experience, like I've said. Hopefully, he can bring that to the team. Maybe, like I say, Jonathan Hogg type role. When he first came in, he's glad he got the business done. So, start training with the players when he's our player. And obviously going on the pre-season tour in Austria, which obviously can get the players to gel together and everything. Let's get a word from our special guest, George. What would you like to say?
Hello, mate. Well, Ryan Ledson, what do I think of him? Well, he comes from the Championship. I think he's going to bring quite a big quality for League One. Knowing for him now, he's again from all of his clips I've been looking at, he looks like a good quality player for us. Yet again, as you were saying, he's a Hoggy type of player. Obviously being captain, and I think he's going to do really well. Obviously with his interview, he sounds really happy to be here, and I think he's going to bring a lot of spirit. I really think. Obviously,
definitely need a lot of spirit in the dressing room.
Yes, we do. And with all these signings, I think we could bring. I think a few fans might get back into that ground next season. We need a good amount of fans to turn next season.
Hopefully. We've got a comment. He's a leader, much needed leader and potential captain. Yeah, looking like to be Jonathan Hogg type player with obviously him leaving the club at the end of last season. Hopefully we can get some good games out of Ledson. Right, so on to the next signing that we made. We made a signing of Marcus Harness. Here we go, Marcus Harness. Obviously joins us from Ipswich. Obviously he was a big part in the promotion from League One, I believe, and then we played against him in Championship. Obviously says he can play various positions. He's looking to be winger type player. Obviously, with Josh Carome obviously not extending his contract and now getting rid of Sorba Thomas to Stoke. Hopefully, he's a more versatile player, which obviously if we can have, that'd be great. If we do get injuries, hopefully we don't get as many injuries last season, because I think that is a big part that killed us. Obviously, it's great that Lee Grant is happy to have him. Obviously, he has worked with him before at Ipswich, so they've got a connection there. So that is great. And obviously, Mark Sarnes puts here, how he works. It's a no-brainer for him. So, hopefully, with all the work, we could do with Harness, Lee Grant knowing each other, so it can help bring a more, spirit up with the club. And honestly, it looks exciting. Obviously, going out to Derby, I believe, last season. He's got a bit of championship experience there. Obviously, experience is what we need going into this season. Obviously, failing to get promotion last season. Going, hopefully, for a promotion push with the first two players we brought in this season. But yeah, again, George, what would you like to say about Harness?
Marcus Harness, right. Well, obviously I like the pairing of him, sorry. Lee Grant and obviously Harness have worked together for 2 years at Ipswich. And I think the contribution well. And I think we could, obviously I'm not too sure on this one. It could be, but yeah, again, see how it goes on next season. But yeah, hopefully. But yeah, Harness, I rate him, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right, on to the third signing here. We did manage to get Joe Lowe, obviously coming from Wickham, who obviously was big help in their season last season, obviously getting them into a playoff position. We're actually top half at table for pretty much most of the season, so you can see how a centre-back like Joe Lowe can have an impact. Obviously, I don't believe if we're playing back towards the back end of the season, which, maybe a little bit playing time lead him to leaving. But obviously, Joe Lowe, we played against him last season. He was brilliant. Says brilliant in the air, trying to get them balls clear. Also, he did talk about saying that he knows Joe Taylor, so that was that big move in coming here. So obviously, people knowing each other again, linking together. Yeah, one of the best defenders in the league. Fell out of favour in Bloomfield. Yeah, as soon as they got rid of the new manager came in, maybe, I don't know what his relationship with Lowe like. Obviously, being with the Wickham side that was fighting at the top of the table, he's got a lot of experience fighting for promotion. So hopefully he can bring that with us this season. Obviously, he's only young. He's, 24, I believe, 23. So he's got some growth into him as well. So, he does have that room to grow. And obviously with him 23, it gives him the ability to collect more experience. And obviously, if he moves on, he's got that experience with us. But yeah, again, here we go, Joe Lowe, a massive player, a Hellick-like player. We missed that. Yeah, Hellick, I think it was a bad idea to let Hellick go. Maybe give him to end at season, and if we didn't get promoted, maybe he can go then. But hopefully Joe Lowe can be a Hellick-type player, a lot controlling in the defence, talking to the defence as a unit. But yeah, here we go. Another leader, all ambitious player who wants to keep improving in our recruitment strategy. Yeah, honestly, we've got players who want to get promoted. And I think with Joe Lowe in the defence, obviously can be a big step up to that. So again, George, what do you think of Joe Lowe?
Well, Joe, he's I mean, look at this. We're getting more defenders in, and I like this. Our back line next season will be basically unstoppable. This Joe Lowe, I really do like. When we had talks of him, I think it would be a good signing for us. And look what's happened. He has signed for us. Happy for him to get obviously be here and to get some game time and hopefully score some goals within his time with us. But yeah, I'd like to see what it can show us next season. It's going to be an interesting season for him, I think.
Yeah. Right, we'll get on to the second sign we made that day with Sean Rogan. Obviously from Lincoln City. So again, he's got the experience in League One with Studi when we're fighting for promotion. He's played 4,140 minutes in League One. So there we go again. He's got the experience. And also he's quite young as well. Same with Lowe, got room to grow, So hopefully he can bring the fight and desire into the defence, which we do need since, Matty Pearson's now at Doncaster, getting rid of Lees and not renewing contracts. So we do need defenders. And he talks on about how he loves defending, but he does like to help the team go forward, which I think Mikael Hellick did before, just hoofing the ball. But obviously, I think if we're going to play out of the back, which Sean might be doing, as long as it's not just passing around at the back, getting us exposed, I think the defence this season will be top quality, and hopefully we can have concede the least goals in the league. But yeah, again, George, what's your say on Sean Rohan?
Well, it is another defender, which
is indeed
no surprise there. I really do like him. I mean, obviously, last season, we got rid of Pearson, Lees, Hellick, obviously, as you mentioned. I don't think Hellick should have gone. Obviously, I think he's going to do well, as I said, with Joe Lowe. It could bring a bit more attacking, maybe into this Town team that could potentially, hopefully, fight for promotion or even automatic playoffs.
Yeah,
whatever. It just depends where we end up from the season starting, really.
Yeah. I feel like needs to replace Freddie Ladapo and Bojan, waste of wage. Shane Ward couldn't stay fit as Phil Ward is a round best striker we had and off the. Yeah. So I do believe Freddie Ladapo, says it all when, can't run with the ball, misses chances. Same with Bojan, really, getting the chances, can't put in the back of the net. So I do think we may need to get rid of him or minimum loan. They need that experience. Obviously, they're not going to get it here. Freddie Ladapo, why did we sign him in the first place, to be honest? I see the Bojan, it's difficult because I feel he can have it, but I just think at the club, Huddersfield isn't right for him. And with 8 ballers, Joe Lowe and Rohan hoping to be baller in the defence. Hopefully, got a solid back line. Bolka worries me, never fit nearly. Yeah, I think Bolka, with him, with his injuries, it can kill him in his performance sometimes. Getting injured over and over again, you can lose your match fitness, sharpness. And with 2 sloppy goals given, you can't really be giving away sloppy goals in this league. It's a difficult league to get out of. So, we need, defenders who can defend, really. And the signing that we made today only on loan. Josh Feeney, from Aston Villa, on loan for the season. So about him, he's played 37 games in League One last season. He did play for Shrewsbury. Obviously, they did end up getting relegated to League Two. So, and he does say he's a big physical centre-back. So hopefully he can, maybe come off the bench, maybe for like Lowe or Rohan. Maybe, just to get a bit of experience as well with Lowe, Rohan, or put him in a back three, maybe. I'm not too sure what Lee Grant is wanting to play. Obviously, he's never managed before, similar to Carlos Corberan. But yeah, he says composed at the back and not afraid to get stuck into a tackle, which is nice to hear. Not afraid to go in for a tackle, win the ball back, and then start countering attacking. He says he don't want to concede any goals. So if we get these three defenders, if it is a back three, or you get Lowe, Rohan and put on Feeney in as a sub, hopefully we can concede less goal. And with rumours with that Owen Goodman from Wimbledon, I think if we do get him, whether it's loan or I'm at Palace, I don't know, Wimbledon on loan last season. If we do get him in on loan, or I think it'll be a loan, obviously he was a major part in their promotion through the League Two playoffs. So I believe if we do get him, obviously Nichols, he's a great keeper, he has been, but I think recently he hasn't been up to his best ability, and with defence hardly being there because of injuries, that hasn't helped him either. But yeah, and he likes having the ball at his feet, trying to get assists and goals, which is also nice to hear, wanting, to part the team in getting the goals and assists. So yeah, again, George, what would you like to say about Josh Feeney?
Well, first thing I'm going to say, I am shocked we've signed someone from a Premier League team. What I'm going to say about him, I mean, obviously, he looks quality. He looks like a quality player. Yeah, again, it's another defender. I have mixed ratings about him. Obviously, when I've watched clips of him and all that, I think he could surprise some of us next season when he plays. I think for a bit of the season he'll probably be on the bench, probably most likely come on as a substitute, and sometimes he might start a game, whatever, or whatever, pre-season, whatever, and a reason to come in. But yeah, I really do like him. He looks quite good. Just hoping we can get some more signs done this week, which Nagel did say there is more incomings this week. So just to find out what day it's going to go on. So
yeah, we do have here Spencer. Not convinced me. I mean, Spencer, I do like him as a player. He obviously has got that youth experience. That's he does need to get more experience as he is young. But again, I think for the future, he will be a great player for us. But yeah, so with Spencer, I mean, he's given a few goals last season, trying to help out. He does look like he's not centre back. Yeah, I think he's a better as a fullback. Maybe the right back, left back. He can play that. He play both fullbacks, so also makes him very versatile, which again is great to have, especially for injuries. So yeah. While right back is his best position, yeah, I do agree. I'll get onto that in a minute. While we're on the topic, George, what do you think about Roddy Spencer?
I have mixed opinions about Brody Spencer. As you mentioned, he scored a few goals for us last season. So he's been he's been an okay player from last season. Obviously, he's been in mixed form. He's been bad on some occasions, been good on some occasions. So, for example, Blackpool away, he scored, and that comeback from 2-0 down, he scored a right goal. I think it came off deflection, and obviously his headed goals are obviously when he scored against Lincoln, and obviously, always like tap-ins and all that. Obviously, I do have mixed opinions about him. Obviously, think if he stays or if he goes out on loan or whatever. But I think if he can rack up a few more goals and obviously don't get injured and that lot, I think he'll be okay for next season. But depends where he's at come end of pre-season and where the lads are at and all that lot. So Brady Spencer could be okay for next season.
Yeah. Right, we got Lee Nichols. I think was shafted when in goal after injury when he had no fit centre half and he gets slagged off by fans. But he cares, and Chappie not good enough as a number one. Getting onto the goalkeeper situation, Jacob Chapman, I feel he doesn't have it at this level. Yes, when he did come in, did some decent saves, but that he had the defence in front of him, so he didn't have much to do. And I just feel Jacob Chapman is, for the future, I just think I'd have him as a backup maybe, if we do get that goalkeeper, Goodman, and if he's got to be a backup, or Lee Nichols, if we keep him. But yeah, Nichols, I think, as of late, hasn't been up to it. Here we go. He goes, Chappie was poor when he was put in the last few games. Lee Nichols should have been number one with a solid defence. I mean, I could see why when Worthington came in for end of season, why use Chappie, just to try give him some more experience, as he may believe he's the future, whereas Lee Nichols, he's getting older. But yeah, I could see Chapman started off well and then lost confidence quickly. I do believe that, when he first came in, I thought, he could, could he be better than Nichols? He were looking up to be like that, a good backup or a starting for next season possibly. But I do think with Chapman, he does have a few flaws. Obviously, not much experience really, still young. But I just feel if he does become a backup, I think he can fit that role. If one of the keepers gets injured. They're both as bad as each other, the pair. Yeah. I mean, depends how you really look at it. Chapman's had his moments, Nichols had his moments. Are we going to get a new keeper? Who knows? We'll see what Kevin Nagel wants. Sell Nichols and keep Chapman as a number two. I mean, I'd definitely keep Chapman for a backup. Lee Nichols, I'm not too sure. Personally, if we don't get this Goodman, I'd keep him. Which I'm going to get onto now. What my predicted lineup or my lineup I'd use with the current players that have been announced. I'm not taking into consideration the rumours like Nathan Lowe, who we're still linked with, 2 players from Heerenveen, which could be announced within the next few days. Chappie had a full defence when Lee Nichols at time had no. Yeah, when Lee Nichols did come back in again, you had Ruffles, Turton, playing centre back with like Matty Pearson or Lonvite Bolker. Then injuries hit him. So hopefully we don't get as many injuries this season. So yeah. So let's get on to my lineup. Let's get it up. There we go. Right, so this is my lineup I would use consider it in consideration of the players we've got so far. So Lee Nichols in goal, like I say, like we've just been talking about. I'd put him over Chapman just for experience if we don't get that Goodman. Then I've gone in with the centre back pairing of Lowe and Rohan. Hopefully they can get a bit of experience, with each other in the pre-season camp over in Austria. Get a better relationship there. Obviously, I've gone with Brodie Spencer right back, as full-back is his best position, like we said before. Miller, I'd love to see at left back. Obviously, before he got injured, he looked a promising player last season. So I'd love to see him down that left-hand side with Ruskin on the left, which I'll get on to. Ledson again in that Jonathan Hogg type role. Could be captain. I just feel with the experience he's got, he needs to be starting in that team. You could put him maybe alongside Herbie Kane, can pull out a bit of skill from time to time. In the midfield, trying to set up chances possibly. Then I've got Wiles in front of them too, just because you can give the ball to Wiles and he can create through that midfield, which I'd love to see more of this season. And I got Ruskin on the left, purely because when Miller did come back from injury, and it were Miller and Ruskin mainly as a winger. Them two linked up really well, and I'd love to see that again more of this season. I think Ruskin is, a promising player like we saw last season. Got 1 or 2 goals in. Obviously he's got his red card on the debut, which we don't talk about. Honestly, a exciting prospect. And we've got Harness on the right. Like you said, he does prefer his right, so put him on there because we don't have any wingers really. And I've obviously gone for Joe Taylor up front, which Joe Taylor is a very good striker. Give him the ball. We saw that goal against Blackpool where he's got the goal out of nothing really, and his 2 goals against Crawley. But it's Crawley, to be fair. They got relegated, and it were a 5-1 victory. But we were better on the day. That is my lineup, I'd say. George, would you like to give your lineup?
Well, I haven't thought mine through yet. I might do when I get a chance to, I'll do my own separate live show on my lineup and that lot, and also I forgot what day I'm doing it on and when I've got time and stuff like that. So basically, almost finished college now, so probably doing it after next week and that lot. So give it time, and I'll let you guys know when I'm doing it and that lot.
Yeah, but I honestly, what do you think of this lineup that I've presented to you all?
Well, looking at it, it looks quite decent. Obviously, Goodman, if we do get, which obviously it's Ted Nichols, I'm not sure about. Obviously, you could go out on loan. Obviously, keep Chapman as a backup. Obviously, the likes of obviously Miller, Lowe, Rohan and Harness. I like that kind of group with them 4 players. Taylor up front, which again I think is okay with. Obviously we've still got Dion Charles. Obviously he's got 1 more year left in his contract, I think. And obviously if we do get Nathan Lowe, then I think he could obviously being partnered with Joe Taylor and stuff like that. So obviously that lineup looks quite good. Obviously just got to wait for other signs to come through by this week. So
got one here. We've never played Taylor to his strength. He looked very frustrated. I mean, when we weren't really getting the balls up to him, so he couldn't show what he's got in his locker. I just think this season, with the team we've got so far already, we're looking more attacking, better defence quality, and hopefully we can get them balls up to the attack. Obviously, provides Taylor, Charles if he's on, Nathan Lowe if we sign him on the loan deal, and with wingers Harness, Ruskin, you know, if Ruskin does decide to play on the wing, hopefully we can get more attacking football, which we haven't really seen in recent years. So, yeah, I am going to leave that there for today's live show. Big thanks to George for coming in as well. Go check out his YouTube as well. Give him a subscribe.
No problem, mate. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Do look forward to more live shows, obviously. I'll be doing them as soon as the news comes in. I'll schedule them. So, yeah, thank you for coming on, everybody. And see you on the next live show.
Up the town.
Up the town.